What's going on, guys? It is Nick, and we're back here with another deck profile. I've switched decks again, and now we're going to be playing Shengeta. I'm going to go ahead and go through the profile itself, my card choices, and then I'm actually going to do a little something different today. I want to talk about the side deck a little bit as well, to see what I added in there. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about the leader. We're just playing the regular old Dragon Ball Shenron leader. It's pretty standard for Shengeta. On its unawakened side, you're going to switch to rest mode, search your life, and deck for 2 Dragon Balls. And then your awakened condition, you can awaken when there are 7 Dragon Balls in your drop, and then you can choose a desire card in your drop area, add it to your hand, flip the card over. And once we flip over, we have Miraculous Survival Shenron. Your wishes are going to be draw 1. You can choose a desire, play it from your hand, equal to or less than your energy, and then your final wish is going to be remove all 7 Dragon Balls, choose one of your battle cards, give it 10k power and triple attack, and then flip this card back over at the end of the turn. So this is pretty much going to facilitate your win condition. It's going to be being able to give one of your cards make him pretty beefy and just kind of swing at your opponent. So he's pretty standard leader for the wish for Shengeta. I don't really think any other leader would work for Shengeta. Honestly, this is probably the only one that would really work. I mean, if you guys want to experiment, feel free, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one that's going to work. Then next, we're going to go ahead and get into the balls themselves. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dragon Balls. Now you guys can play all 7 just regular Dragon Balls and not play the Super Dragon Ball if you don't want to. I recommend playing the Super Dragon Ball though, because it really helps set up for world peace and stuff like that. So you can, basically what you want to do is activate all the zeros obviously first, and then on your turn 2 you're going to have this in your hand by then, and then you're going to activate objection so that you can be at 3 energy, pass. Turn 3 you'll be at 4 energy, activate Super Dragon Balls. You'll have 2 energy left over. That way you can draw 4, look at your hand, dump 2, and then you can flip your leader over and then immediately go into a free world peace at that point. Speaking of world peace, we're going to go ahead and talk about our extra cards now. So we have 1, 2 Dragon Radar, 1, 2, 3 world peace, and 1, 2, 3, 4 objection. Now, these are your super important must-have cards in the deck. I would not recommend running anything less than 4 objection. You need objection. The whole point of this deck is being able to world peace out as many targets as you can, and then just kind of putting pressure on the board and keep swinging at your opponent. You really need that objection. You need to see objection turn 2, turn 3, and you need to just activate it as soon as you get it into your hand. As soon as turn 2 comes around, you have an objection in your hand, activate it. Turn 3, activate objection if you can. Keep going from there. It's really going to help boost your plays. It's really going to put you ahead of your opponent in more ways than just having an extra energy. It's going to literally allow you to world peace bigger and bigger targets and make everything a lot easier. I know I'm only playing 2 Dragon Radar. That's entirely optional. If you guys want to play more Dragon Radar and take out a couple cards and to play more of them, I honestly did not see the need for more than 2. I mean, it's a fantastic card. It gets your world peace back, but you really only do that once or twice. The game's usually over by turn 4 anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about our extra cards. We have 3 Bean, then we have 4 Trunks, then 2 Power Bursts, and 4 Whis' Coercion. This is our defense. The Bean, you can kind of use it for offense. I sometimes use it for offense just to extend my plays, restand more energy. Now, same thing with Dragon Radar. If you want to up the Bean to 4, feel free to try and find the space for it. I would just not recommend lowering objection or lowering the world pieces either. If you want to lower any of this stuff, like if you want to take out Power Burst completely and put in an extra Bean and put in one more like blue negate, or another negate, or leave Power Burst at 1, feel free. Whis' Coercion is definitely the better negate here. I like Power Burst because of that Sparking 5, and you don't have to pay energy cost. But Whis' Coercion is literally just so free. Like, you just activate it, and that's it. You don't even have to. It's just a perfect negate. You're definitely going to want to negate a lot of stuff because this deck is very susceptible to turn 2 kills, because on your turn 2 you're not doing anything. So think decks like GT Broly or even Green Broly. Once they get going on their plays and they're able to kill you turn 2, turn 3, you're really going to want to negate as much as possible. in order to survive, because you can't really kill them until turn 4. So this deck is not slow by any means, but there are other decks that are faster, and you're more susceptible to them because you don't really have any board presence until turn 2, until turn 3, turn 4. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and get into our actual world peace targets and things that you're gonna want to play. So let's talk about the Shenrons first. We're gonna play 2 Purunga and 2 Shenron. Now again, this is all interchangeable. If you guys want to play more Shenron and less Purunga, more Purunga, less Shenron, it's entirely up to you. So what do these cards do? For the people that don't know, Shenron here is a 4-drop, 20k, can attack, obviously. And then his effect is once per turn, if you have Sparking 5, which you will, you can draw 1 card and then either restand 2, choose a battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less from your drop area and play it, or choose one of your battle cards and give it 5k crit. You're pretty much never going to be using that second ability. You don't really run anything that's a 2-drop in this deck except for vanilla Gokus, and that's it. So if you want to do that for more board pressure, I guess, but you're really not going to be doing that. You're really only going to be using his first or third ability, because you can world peace into him and then restand 2 energy, continue your plays, stuff like that, or you can just hard cast him for 4, restand 2, and be good there. And then Purunga, this guy is is a 3-drop 20k, can't attack as well. You can activate main, switch him to rest mode, and then if your leader card is a black Shenron, you can choose one. You can either draw 2, and you can choose one of your battle cards. He gains 10k power to the end of your opponent's next turn. Not bad. Or his really, really good effect, the last one, is you can choose one of your cards and one of your opponent's cards, ignoring barrier, and then you're going to clear the field shuffle the rest of the field into your owner's decks. That's really, really good against things that like to swarm and that you're feeling the pressure on. Things like GT Broly, they tend to have a pretty decently sized board, and you really and you kind of want to get rid of it. If they manage to not kill you turn 3, you can just turn 3 drop this on them and then clear the board. And shuffle everything back into their deck. It's really, really good. And even if you don't want to do that, you can just charge. If you feel like that these cards aren't gonna help you with the game, just charge them. It's really that simple. Next, we're gonna get into our actual battle cards now. Playing quite a few of them, so we're gonna talk about the smaller ones first, and then go from there. So first off, we're playing, like I said before, 4 vanilla Gokus, vanilla blue Gokus. And I'm playing 2 Sneak Attack Vegeta and 2 Preface of Recovery Son Goku. Now, this is a little bit of a tech choice here. I haven't seen anybody else run this except for my friend, Aaron. I haven't seen anybody else on the listings for ARGs or PPGs running these guys. Vanilla Gokus are pretty common, though, just because they're a 20k Goku and you have a 20k Vegeta in here for Union Fusion, just in case, or he's good for charging material. Now, these guys, what they do, if you guys don't know, Prefix of Recovery Son Goku just says that whenever this card's played, you can restand 2 of your energy. Really, really good card. He has barrier, 15k. That's a pretty decent, in my opinion, world peace target. If you're just not seeing anything, or maybe you already have a board established and you already have, Gogeta 7 on board and a couple other things on board, and you just, you want to push for a little bit more damage and you have the free energy, you can hard cast world peace, bring this guy out, restand those 2 energy, and you're good to go from there. Or you guys can also bring out Sneak Attack Vegeta. He's a really, really good way to control your opponent's hand, in my opinion. He also has barrier. He's also 15k. So these are also fusion targets as well, because this is a Vegeta and this is a Son Goku. These are also some fusion targets for you as well. His auto is that whenever this card attacks, your opponent has to take 1 card from their hand and place it at the top of their deck. So they're basically not going to get a draw phase next turn because they're seeing the same card that they just had. That, in my opinion, is really, really good. Really good way of controlling your opponent and making sure that they're not going to be able to do anything. If you can bring out Gogeta 7, so then now they only have 3 cards in their hand, and then you can swing with that Vegeta, they're going to have to drop a card, and now they're only going to have 2 cards in hand. And that's just even more of a way of crushing defeat for them. They're only going to have 2 cards to defend with. You're definitely most likely going to win at that point. Speaking of Gogeta, let's go ahead and talk about our big bombs. We have Gogeta 5, we have Gogeta 7, and then we have the homeboy at all costs Vegeta. These are your win conditions right here. for everybody that doesn't know, let's go ahead and talk about them. Gogeta 5, you can Union Fusion for 4, or you can hard cast him for 5. You're usually going to hard cast him for 5 unless you just really feel like Union Fusioning him for the plays. His auto is that once you do Sparking 5, once you have Sparking 5, when you play this card, draw 2, choose if 2 of your opponent's battle cards, bottom of the deck. Does not ignore barrier, so if they have barrier, then you can't do anything with that. And then Gogeta 7, he's your main win condition, honestly. He's your main goal. Triple Strike, Union Fusion for 5, barrier, and deflect. His auto, Sparking 10, you crit a life, and then you your opponent shuffles their entire hand back into their deck. They draw 3, and that's all that's all they can deal with at that point. And then at all costs Vegeta, he's a really, really good. What you should be bringing out turn 4 is at all costs Vegeta. You should be world piecing it at all costs Vegeta turn 4, just to put a little bit of pressure on board. You don't necessarily have to activate his main, but there's no reason that you shouldn't bring him out just so you can have some board presence. His auto is that when his card's played, draw a card, restand an energy. So he basically hard cast for 3, or if you world piece him, he can restand an energy, draw a card. His activate main is that once per turn, you can choose 2 cards in your life, add them to your hand, and then this card gains 3k power per energy for the end of the turn. And then if you have 5 or more energy, you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, and then this card gains triple strike till the end of the turn. So either one of these guys really can end game for you. What you'd want to do is either bring out Gogeta 7 because he has natural triple strike, and then once you're ready for the kill, you're ready to set up your opponent for kill, and you're going to activate your leader's effect, give Gogeta 7 triple strike, so he'll be at triple strike, triple attack, 40k. They're probably not going to survive that because you're also going to have an established board of, probably Gogeta 7, definitely at all costs Vegeta, and then something else on the board as well. So they're definitely not going to survive all those swings with only 3 cards in hand and however many life they're at. They're not going to survive all that. Or you can do the same thing with at all costs Vegeta, give him the triple attack, triple strike boost, and then he'll be your win condition in case you don't see a Gogeta 7 or if they somehow out the Gogeta 7. So yeah, these are your win conditions here. You're pretty much always going to see them, and like I said, this deck is definitely a turn 4, turn 5 kill because you're going to be activating objections so much. You're definitely going to be at 5 energy. You're going to be at 5 energy by turn 4. That's enough to Union Fusion into Gogeta 7. Hopefully you'd activated a third objection by then so that you can actually have an energy open just in case your opponent survives. What I like to do typically is I don't like to end game as soon as Gogeta 7 comes out. I like to bring him out, swing, get rid of their hand, swing, deal some damage, and then pass turn at that point and let them kind of run out of their resources a little bit more, let them struggle for resources just a little bit more. And then once I'm 100% sure that they have nothing in their hand that they can use to defend against myself, then I will go ahead and activate Shenron's leader ability, give Gogeta 7 triple attack, triple strike, and then go from there. Obviously, if they have like a board established, if they have like a couple cards on board, then I'm not going to just pass turn. I'll just straight up kill them at that point whenever I get Gogeta 7 out. But usually if they don't have an established board or anything like that, if they're not really posing a threat, then I'll just like pass turn and see what they can do from that point, and then secure the victory a little bit better. Now let's go ahead and talk about the side deck actually, because this is something new that we're going to be doing here. So first off, in the side deck, we are going to be playing a couple black cards, and then we're going to be playing a couple yellow cards. And I'll go ahead and talk about all the choices of these as we're going through it here. All right, so for the side deck, we have 1 Time Control Konoha. Now, this is in here for obvious reasons for yellow Shugesh, but the reason why the side deck is set up like this, the side deck might look a little familiar for some people. The side deck, what I did is I looked at the guy who topped the most recent ARGs, or he got second place with Shengeta. He was playing the yellow, blue, and black build. All the cards that he put pretty much in the main deck, I put them in the side deck. Just because you don't really need those cards in the main if you're not going to play at, an ARG for real. That's why I left the blue build in the main for things like locals, things like casual play, things like testing. And the yellow build is a lot more control based, a little bit slower than the blue build, but definitely stronger for a couple reasons. We also have 2 Deadly Defender Goku. Really good way to defend yourself against things like Victory Strike, against things like Yellow Broly, GT Broly. If he's on the field and he's in rest mode, your opponent has to swing at him. They cannot swing at your leader, so they have to get rid of him. And then we have a Dimensional Warrior, Son Goku. He's just a pretty good double strike barrier. And then his auto is that when you have Sparking 7, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the warp. It does not ignore barrier, but it's a good way of spot removal. Then we have 2 Flying Nimbus, really good against Swarm decks, things like Yellow Broly, things like Victory Strike, things like GT Broly. And then for our vanilla Gokus, we're actually going to be playing the yellow Super Saiyan Blue vanilla Gokus, just so we can have yellow energy and things to discard for our Bad Ring Laser. This is the perfect card for this deck because you can activate Gogeta 7's ability, or activate your leader's ability to give to Gogeta 7, swing, and then if they try to negate anything, obviously you can Bad Ring Laser, and that's game at that point. And then the rest of the side deck is my own personal choice. Some things I might actually change here. I got 2 Mercenary Tau and 1 Killy Zone. I'm probably going to change this to just being 3 Killy Zone, just because Mercenary Tau, decks like Lord Slug, they're still around. Toa is a thing as well. Mercenary Tau doesn't really work that well against Toa though, because I think she sends cards to warp. It could be wrong there. But things like Lord Slug, they're still around, but they're not like super popular. Not really necessary to side deck against. And even if they're taking cards from my hand, Shengeta usually has a pretty big hand, and they don't really care if you're ripping cards from their hand. So, but minus Killy Zone is a much more important card. So I'm probably going to switch to using 3 minus Killy Zone, because if they, at Gogeta 7 does have Deflect, so he's safe, but your other cards don't have that, and it would really hurt if they cold molested, say, your At All Costs Vegeta or your Gogeta 5 or anything like that. So you really want to have minus Kill Zone for that. All right, so that is it for the deck, guys. If you guys have any suggestions or requests, please leave them in the comments. I'd like to hear some feedback. I got a couple other profiles coming soon. I got a Zamasu profile coming soon. I have a GT Broly profile coming soon. And I have a live duel between me and my friend Aaron coming soon as well. So I'll go ahead and talk to you guys later. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.